side view of the hinge itself. Okay, looking at it like that. And then we look at it open all the way. These don't open all the way. The little practice one that I showed you, the little wimpy one, the $2.99 one, that one opens all the way, that one opens all the way. Again, these are designed to stop at 90 degrees, so the box doesn't flip all the way back and then take your whole box and flip it back. We had that the very first time we did them. I didn't like that. So what I want you guys to see is the different parts are the names that we use here, because these names refer exactly to the tools that we're going to use to make do the layout and then the systematic removal. Okay? So I preloaded this because it's the exact same as the last class. I'm keeping you guys on track with them. If I have to redo some drawings, I will. Okay? So you have the length of the hinge. That's very important because we have the length tool. We have the width of the hinge, which is actually called the tongue. Okay? So the part that the hinge pivots on, let's name the parts first. Okay? The parts, the barrel, which is a pin through a cylinder. And that's the part that pivots. That's called the barrel. And then you have the two sides, or the flanks. Those are the tongues. Okay? And then the holes that the screws go through. And you can see they have they're bigger on one face and smaller on the other. And that's drawn right here in cross section to accommodate the screw that sits in there. So when the screw sits in there, it sits nice and flush. Okay? And flat. So we have the length of the hinge, my fingers, the width of the tongue, which is right there, to the barrel. It doesn't include the barrel. And then we have the thicknesses of the tongue. Okay? And if you look how these are set in, this is pretty important, you'll notice that these hinges don't sit on top of the wood, they sit into the wood. Okay? And that space that the hinges sit in is called a mortise. M-O-R-T-I-S-E, mortise. That is, and these are called mortise style hinges. Okay? So we have to make a perfect square hole for the square mortise to sit, square hinge to sit in. And that's what we're doing. We're doing mortise style hinge, and we have to make it fit exactly so there's no wiggle room, so we don't get an overbite or a twisted bite. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? Okay, let's go then to the how we do the layout. And then I'm going to start demonstrating for you guys on these pieces here. If you want to have these in your hand and play with them, you may, but I need them back, okay, while you're watching. Now, when you get to this, when you start doing your hinging, I don't recommend, when you start layout, you're going to ask for your hinges, okay? And I told you guys these are pretty expensive as far as just like, you know, a couple of hinges. You get your whole packet, and if you notice, it's got plastic for the screws and then a bigger bag for the hinges and the screws. I would not open the package for the screws until we absolutely need them, because you don't want to lose any. So, and what I do, I don't pull this apart, I actually just make a little cut and I take the one hinge out. You don't need that until you've done your layout, but you want to ask for these and get them and then keep them in your toolbox, okay? And obviously when you get your little package of screws, I had some over here earlier, you don't want to open it up and they go flying all over the room, so you want to just push the screws out. Alright, what else did I need while I was over there? Oh yeah, here's some more hinge demo pieces. You guys can take a look at them. So these, I've done these and kept these in the shop for you to look at, same as the box here. And what I'm going to do for you is make this exact same thing. Okay? So what you're going to see is the back of a box. But I'm going to hold it always here so you can see how we do the actual clamping and doing the work on the box. Does that make sense? Okay. Make sure you have good visuals. Alright. So, layout. First thing we're going to do